Ooh, what's up, guys? It's Noble Nick here. I made 4 posts on my YouTube channel that are polls to see what you guys think. So we're just gonna look at those results now that it's been a little bit of time. The first one we had was, what do you think is the most likely to win at Gen Con? Whatever army it may be in, Kaiga, Kankan, Kariga, and SI4X. So Kaiga can be in the Samurai and Lawman builds or just on his own. People must think that's pretty good because 29% of 51 voters said they thought he was most likely. He's definitely cool. And then you got Kankan, who most likely is going to be in like an all bear army, but he could also just be in the bear pod. If he is an all bear army, he could actually have Karigat in his army, but he doesn't necessarily have to. He could be just the bears, and he got 22%. So it's cool to see that people think New Kankan's pretty powerful. And he's also pretty cool. And then we got Karega. Karega is a very dangerous figure that can go with the newer bears coming out. But that's really it. So I think because of that, 8% was all but picked for that. So you could do something like Karega the Bears and a bunch of Rannoch Vipers or Great Bow Archers, perhaps, or something. But that's about the most you can do with it. So I guess maybe that makes sense why 8% thought that. Although I think Karega could be pretty dangerous against a lot of different armies. I also know the whole bear army with Kankan and Karega is good. Kaiga's good on his own though as well, and then you got SI4X who's pretty decent on his own, but he can create shadow to help troopers or any Revna army. He can let them do phantom walk. So imagine someone has a line and you just phantom walk Maladrix or Scavarth or something straight through it and hit exactly where you want really hard. And I don't know, he's also really cool, so maybe that's why they voted 41%. But yeah, we got that. Let's see what people said maybe. I'm one of the few Kankan believers. I believe in Kankan. But Daniel Chant says that. The Solo Scaper says SI4X getting that big a vote is surprising to me. Who are y'all running with him? So yeah. All right. Maybe I gotta go back out of that. There we go. All right, now the other one was which looks most fun. This one was bouncing around as the votes came in. We got 35 people that voted. And at first I think Sudema was high, and then we got a lot of student votes, and then Krampus passed them all. Gimbal came up too out of nowhere. She didn't really have a lot of votes. But students will be fun because there's so many things you can do. You can do higher damage at range and get higher defense. You can attack multiple people around you. So they'll be good on their own or in medium size, like half size armies or whatever. Gimbal will just be fun because you can avoid damage and the figure itself comes apart, which is cool. And it's a new kind of dragon, a mechanical dragon. Krampus looks like got the most votes, so it was 26, 23, 34, and then 17. Krampus had a few more votes, and you know, there's reason for that. You can stuff heroes in baskets or other characters in baskets. You can bond with Dryan. You can bond with the Arrowgruts. So he's going to be very interesting for sure. Sudema, I put Medusa because it's technically like an anagram. But Sudema here, she can do auto wounds, which is great. And she can bond with undead and Ascenic, so she's going to make for a lot of variety, interesting type armies. And for Gen Con, actually, one of my friends is most likely bringing her in a type of army. So she's definitely good. And if you have fun doing good, then there you go. She's a lot more interesting than the other one. But then which one looks the coolest? I mean, there's not much to say really about this one. I knew Deathwalker 10,000 people were excited about. Alistair's a big buff, huge dude. And he does a lot. So I was like, alright, we'll throw him in there. Ninjas are definitely cool. I knew people thought that. And Zeticron, who's coming back. His art looks a lot cooler than what we're used to from Zeticron, so I threw him in there. But it appears that almost everyone thought Deathwalker 10,000 looked the coolest. And his art does look really cool. The laser charging up and whatnot. But a decent amount still thought ninjas looked the coolest, and a couple people thought Alistair, and one thought Zeticron. So, and then we get to the Alliance Wars, and this falls in line pretty perfectly with how the Alliance War is actually going right now. I did get a couple more votes. It looks like 44 people. So obviously, Umbral Covenant has had the lead for a while, but they hadn't had a lot of wins until the one they got recently. Everybody else was winning, and Verdant Pact actually caught up to them, but I believe it's 4 wins for Umbral Covenant, 3 for Verdant Pact, and 2 for the other 2. And that makes sense here because it looks like 32% like the Verdant Pact, which is the team general alliance that I like. One, because Alar is my second favorite. Elves are really cool. Dwarves are pretty cool with Aquila. And then the alliance itself is the only alliance that's actually good guys. Like, Alar was always good with Jandar. And Aquila came around and made everyone ally together. So they are the most good alliance and the strongest bond. And they're trying to keep Valhalla alive, like keep the nature from being destroyed and whatnot. So in every way, they are the good alliance. So they're my favorite. I know Sir Heroscape likes them. I know Ryan from Tales of Valhalla likes them. I know some other people, Battlebrow, he likes them. So some pretty prominent members of the community like that army, general alliance there. Umbral Covenant got just under for the votes so far. They kind of been going back and forth a little in a way. But that's a cool one. I like the name of it. Vidar's cool. Revna's new, and I know a lot of people like Revna. But Revna's bad, in my opinion. She's a bad person. She's promising things, but she's lying. Kind of like political there. But then Vidar is missing at the moment because he's studying things, so that alliance sort of came about by Revna using Queen Kirion in a way, forcing her hand in a way. So that's, in my opinion, the second weakest alliance because they're pretty shaky. But they do have a lot of knowledge, bringing people from the dead. There's obviously some sort of a space station, and the void is up there, so they have a lot of intelligence. Then you got my favorite army, Einar, with Valaric. Not my favorite alliance, but Einar is my favorite general. However, it's my second favorite alliance, Really because of what the alliances are. And I'm not really a big Volaric fan yet. But, Einar is imperialistic. He has a lot of guys, a lot of money. Volaric has, she's a businesswoman and she's pretty imperialistic as well. So they have that in common. They have great power together, and for that reason, I think it's the second strongest alliance behind Ular and Aquila, as far as a bond they have. And they had 20%, and then New Alliance has 18 here, so they have the least amount. Their color scheme I actually like the most. Jandar is obviously the main good guy. Utgar, who is under Leviatech right now, meaning this alliance is probably the most fragile, but it's also probably more of a good alliance than Clockwork Combine or Umbral Covenant, to be honest. Especially because in the newest scenario, Umbral Covenant, when all the alliances were talking to each other, basically said, we are only focusing on ourselves, we're not helping anyone, and Jandar Utgar should pay for everything, they said. Oops. And, and, yeah, I get it, Utgar destroyed a lot of things, but it seems like Thorman and the pirates should be the ones paying, if anything, because the pirates are their own alliance in this moment as well, actually. So the pirates, they're more like bounty hunters are just being paid. But I'd say their alliance is the most evil in a way, then Umbral Covenant, then New Alliance, just because of how shaky it is at the moment. They could end up being one of the good ones. Then Clockwork Combine, then the most strong is Verdant Pact, as far as a bond goes, and if they're good and whatnot. But anyway, that's what the votes got. So yeah, I like that a lot of people like Verdant Pact. They are the one we should be rooting for. Umbral Covenant is just getting it because Revna has powerful characters and Vidar's cool, so it's kind of winning because it's cool. Einar I love because of the historicals, so I hope Einar does well, if not this year. When this year ends, maybe next year. If Verdant Pact maybe wins this one, maybe I'll go for Clockwork Combine next time. But, yeah, I mean, this mostly makes sense to me. I just don't like the Covenant. We need to beat them out. But those were my posts, so just showing you what everybody in the community kind of thinks. Alright, well, everybody have a good weekend. See you next time.